Hello, everybody. It's day 43. Did you notice that in the last day or so, the energy seems lighter? I certainly did. It's like my obsession with watching all the YouTube videos before going to bed and all of that is just really decreased. It's as though the light quotient has increased dramatically. And also, I'll bet you, if you're like me, you're finding more and more people who are in vibrational alignment with you and are also spending way less time trying to convince anyone of anything. And I had the revelation yesterday when talking to you that by upping the tinfoil hat portion of our program, I think it's probably going to keep me on Facebook a little bit longer. Now, what I do, and you should know this if you're listening on Instagram, I tend to post the informational videos on the Facebook page, the stuff that questions the mainstream narrative. And today I posted things from Austria and Switzerland that were a very different take than from the United States. I wanted to show you some more of the kind of literature that I've been reading and hiding for decades. Here's one, The Eternal Quest, Joseph Whitfield. And he also wrote The Treasure of El Dorado. And I remember that way back, I think even before I became board certified, I had The Treasure of El Dorado, which was about ascended masters. And I used to hide it in the guest bathroom under the sink so that my then husband would not see it. The same person who, when I met him at medical school, said, "You believe in angels? How could a woman of your intelligence believe in this crap?" Now, the question that you should be asking is, how could a woman of my intelligence think that I was going to be able to rehab that person? That's really the question. Guess what? I couldn't, but I tried. And I know many of you have tried. There's something I wanted to read you here that I had underlined, like God knows how many decades ago. Unfortunately, the harmful patterns that are imprinted upon the subconscious mind of a person who is physically incarnated can only be dealt with from the physical level. When you leave the physical body and return to the mental or the spiritual realms, you cannot wave your magic wand and change all those negative patterns acquired in the physical body. The only way that such negative or harmful patterns can be changed is in a subsequent physical incarnation. That is the main reason why the physical worlds are the most difficult of all realms to master. Those who do master the physical are masters of all the other realms as well. Now that is what we are doing. And we have this major challenge right now that is affecting the entire human race. Now, on the three-dimensional mastering the physical realms area, I listened today to a rancher talk about how the people, the farmers, the ranchers, are being told by the powers that be, and I don't know what those powers are, perhaps the same ones that are telling us that if you're a hairdresser, you need 6 pages of a protocol to take care of your customers and cut their hair safely. Okay, probably the same, but I don't know. Anyhow, what this rancher said is, you got to help us. They're being told to kill their harvest, meaning their beef. Farmers are being told to plow under their produce. Dairy farmers are being told to dump their milk. And this will, I think by design, lead to some food shortages, probably in the fall. In the meantime, what this rancher said is, we're getting beef imported from other countries like Namibia, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. And that doesn't make any sense. So I believe that one of the things we all can agree on, I mean everybody, maskers, unmaxers, pro-vaccine, informed consent, all of us, one of the things that we can be working on in our communities, up close and personal, is food sovereignty. Find out who your farmers are. Support them this summer with CSAs, community-supported agriculture, and find out who they are all year long so that we can begin to have a food system that is very, very local. You know, in Europe, very often you find that the farms are right around the towns, and we need that back again. We don't need these sprawling suburbs, okay? And it doesn't take much land to grow a lot of food. I would recommend that you see the documentary Tomorrow, and then the other documentary, The Biggest Little Farm. These are very, very uplifting. And all of us in a community, everybody can agree. Now remember that part of the way the darkness or the service to self group is working is to get us to fight amongst ourselves. Blue states, red states, Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim. I mean, all those labels, right? And let's refuse to do that. Now, when I say that, I know that, I mean, I just heard this from a friend of mine in a little New York State town. She was standing on her lawn talking to a neighbor, and someone came up to her and yelled at her for not wearing a mask. So this kind of person who will yell at you for not wearing a mask, I don't think that there's anything to be done except to sort of, you know, just stay away. And then little by little, find your group of people. But for now, my message would be find out who your local farmers are. We have a farm up Route 1 in Maine, and one of my friends who's a massage therapist said that when this whole thing began, they could no longer sell their spring greens to restaurants. So they were bagging them up and putting them in a farm stand. And then through the honor system, people were just buying those bags of mixed greens, salad greens. And apparently the farmers did better. They made more money than they were making selling the produce to restaurants. So I believe that there are many, many, many problems that way that can be solved with direct to the consumer stuff. I have a lobsterman who lives 2 doors down, and one Christmas I wanted to serve lobster, and he just left 2 huge buckets of lobster on my front porch. And I think the whole thing cost me $45. And that wasn't enough, but you know, he gave me a deal. So that's what I'm thinking. Food sovereignty. I'm going to, for myself personally, I'm going to be trying Anthony Williams' cleanse, the advanced cleanse, just to get my vibration higher. It's summer, so I don't have to worry about freezing. You know, in these cold climates, being vegan, it just makes you too cold. It doesn't work. It's great for Southern California, Hawaii, but if you live in a northern cold climate like I do, what I found, and my daughter as well, is we just get too cold if we don't have some animal food. But now that it's spring, I'm going to give that a try, and I will be reporting to you about that. And I'm thinking that with the food thing, we could all up the quality of our food, maybe decrease the quantity. I'm thinking of getting a freezer. I listened, as I told you, to Ann Ortley, and she said this whole thing will be over by the winter solstice. I believe that. And then it will be the cleanup as it's like recovering from a hurricane. Everything, you know, the awning's off and the pool's full of debris. And so we'll all be cleaning it up and moving much closer to what Eckhart Tolle calls the new earth. Now, remember what I said in this mystical book by Joseph Whitfield. So it's way back from the 70s. Many of you were not born. Where he says, remember that to take care of what happens, the wounds in the physical, we have to be in a physical body. Now, when I was at an ashram in Thailand last winter, that's another story. I will talk to you about that when I'm ready. But what Buddha taught, apparently, is that it is such a... it's so important to get a physical body, like it's so valuable that souls are lined up, and your chance of being incarnated in a physical body on earth are the same as one hair on an ox versus all the hairs on an ox. What I mean by that is it is no mistake that you are here. It is a privilege to be here. It is a privilege to be here now, and you came here now if you're listening to this, to usher in the new earth. It is not a mistake. Okay? So sleep when you need to, meet your local farmers, carry a mask around, wear it, don't wear it. I mean, you know how I feel about this. And I post the scientific stuff to support my point of view on Facebook. Okay. Thanks for listening today. We'll talk tomorrow.